What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Haze Demon Show! And today we are going over a brand spanking new developer update coming at you from Ubibuck. And it is a big update. It is a pretty good update, and I would like to share it with you guys. That's what's up. It's so awesome, and I just want to say, overall, thank you very much to Red Links for everything that they have been working on, as the game has made improvements over time, and definitely when it comes to balance changes, and it makes me hopeful for more balance changes, obviously. It's pretty awesome, as well as the two brand new cards coming out so far, Sorceress Leanne and Big Mesquite Murphy. I feel like both of those cards make such a big impact on the way that the game is played, and it's really nice to see those kind of innovative characters coming out of the woodwork, as well as they have put out the Halloween. They put out the Halloween work. You know what I'm saying? Like, the background had that Halloween feel to it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be coming out, and they committed to it. So that was pretty awesome to get to see that, to see the change to come back, because it's like the only time that they've ever changed it. The same thing with challenge mode, that they actually changed it for the Day of the Dead. It was all blue, and you know, the skull mask painting for Butters, and those are really nice you know, quality of life things that you can see. But there's more, and there's more in this developer update, so let me not rant on any longer. Let's go ahead and dive into this week's timetable. It's gonna be a sci-fi event for Tuesday, which we'll talk about the cards in just a moment, and then also the update 4.3 with the balance changes that we will be talking about later on, and bug fixes. So there's quite a few things here. And then we've got the Cox challenge mode, which is going to be that any unit that is based around being able to spawn chickens, they're going to be, the epic levels are going to be level 3. So they're going to be much more viable in this meta, and also Bradley is going to be a 10 cost unit, which we'll talk about more of those details here in a little bit. But I feel like it's going to be a really good challenge mode, although it'll probably feel a lot like this past weekend, where Leanne just kind of created this meta where chickens were absolutely everywhere, and it is probably going to be more of a meta now coming up, I believe. And then we've got the 2x PvP ticket weekend, which to me means that it's most likely going to be a token collection event this weekend for the 2 days, or 3 days, I mean to say, Friday, you know, Saturday, Sunday. Anyway, and also there's not like any big information on that specific thingamabob. So let's go ahead and get into more details down below. The 2-year anniversary this Saturday, November 9th. We will be celebrating the 2-year anniversary of South Park Phone Destroyer worldwide launch. There will be some gifts scattered throughout the week, and a very special gift on Saturday, with an even more special extra for those of you that started before February 2018. Isn't that just awesome? You'll see what I'm talking about when the update rolls out later this week. So it may be possible that there's a new type of outfit that you can wear, like, you know, only you can, right now you can change your hat and your shirt, and you can't really, and you can change your face, you know, to a certain degree, right? So maybe it is gloves, right? Because we don't have that accessory available in the game yet, and that would be pretty awesome to see a pair of gloves that are exclusive to OG players that have stayed with the game since the beginning, through thick and thin, through highs and lows of all of the different balance changes and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. And like I'm just theorizing, you know, that it would be gloves. It makes sense. But if it's just a different hat, different shirt, then it doesn't. We wouldn't feel as special when it says the specific thing. I think it says it later on here. We'll get to it in just a second, maybe. But basically, it just feels like it might be a brand new asset to the game, to customization. I think it says something about customization, but yes, let's continue on here. So the season 23 episode, I'm not actually going to even talk about the new episode because what I've read and seen, I just don't even want to spoil any of the event or the South Park episode, so we're not going to talk about that. So the Sci-Fi 24-hour event, we're going to be able to play Ice Sniper, Wendy, Program Stan, Visitors, Marine Craig, Human Kite, Fireball, Hermes Kinney, Paladin Butters, and PC Principal. They are going to be the card usage event. It's usually like, what, 35, 45 points, and then you get all 3 or 5 packs. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. I don't know. But for me, we could maybe mess around with some Ice Sniper Wendy, right? Or maybe, I never really played Marine Craig very much. But all the other stuff we actually have at a pretty competitive level. PC Principal is almost level 6. So, that'd be pretty cool when we get him there, normally. So the challenge mode, right? Like we were talking about, the Cox challenge mode. It's going to be all Cox cards are level 3, and Elvin King Bradley will cost 10 energy. So the level 3 cards are going to be the Chicken Coop, Mr. Slave Executioner, Amazingly Randy, Cock Magic, and Sorceress Leanne. So this is absolutely fantastic because, like, besides just buffing their stats and like their attack and their health, they're just raising the level, and I feel like that's a pretty good way to help them in challenge mode. And so this is definitely going to be a crazy challenge mode, no doubt about it. So I hope you guys will enjoy that one. I think I might play it, you know, a couple times. You never know. We'll see, we'll see. Weekend event. That leads us to the weekend event. Due to the nature of creating content based on the episode, we can't share any info just yet about the weekend event. There will be some cool things in the works, so keep an eye out for info later this week. And as an extra celebration for this weekend, there will be double PvP packs, PvP tickets, and PvP packs as well. So make sure to refresh PvP packs this weekend, because more PvP tickets, right? In general. So it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. If that's the time that you want to, if you don't refresh PvP packs normally, this is the weekend to do it, right? Yeah. Alright, and here it is, guys, the balance changes. This is what you guys have been waiting for. And it says, as our legendary season is wrapping up, we'll have some balance changes tomorrow, and I'll list the details of the changes here. So, the biggest change here is that all Dougies have a 20% attack damage reduction. Except for Power Fist Dougie has his freeze range reduced by 25%, which I was just noticing this over the weekend, that he can freeze a unit that is behind the new kid. So now he should not be able to do that, I think, right? And what this would do is that Dougie is going to still be viable at lower ranks, right? Because most of the people are going to have lower new kid level, so then that they're going to still feel the full extent of the kapow, you know what I'm saying? But as your ranks go up and the level of the new kids average is higher, like let's say when the majority of people have level 25 new kid, it's not really going to be able to have that percentage oomph as much as it used to be. Like the ratio, the damage per health, it's just going to be basically making it to where he can't really take one whole bar within a short amount of time. It's going to take him maybe even one more extra second. It might take him one extra punch. You know, I'm not sure exactly at what new kid level it's going to begin to give you that extra barrier of losing to Dougie, that one extra punch or whatever you want to call it. So it's just not going to be as effective higher up, but it's still going to be just as good lower down. And also his health is still the same, so you have to deal with him the same way as before. Power Fist Dougie obviously still being the #1 Dougie out there, hands down for sure, because he doesn't have to have protection from anybody else. But here it is. This is pretty nice. The Mysterion and Kagura buffs are that slight boost that we would like to see the quality of life changes in the legendary cards. Now, does this make these legendary cards OP? Let's talk about that here in just a second. Mysterion, the Death Orb, will now float 25% faster, allowing for quicker respawn. And Callgirl, the cost reduction from 6 to 7. So, what they started out with was them not really being good at all. Really, pretty much. To a pretty good extent, Mysterion being a lot better than Callgirl, of course. But what this does, for sure, Mysterion's recycling ability is going to be a lot better. With 25%, you'll see a really significant difference in how often he's going to appear on the field. And the thing is that Mysterion does have a lot of counters, being lots of chickens can be an easy counter for him, lots of cancel cards, Medusa Bebe, you know, Sorceress Leanne coming out, and Cock Magic, obviously, right? So there's a lot of different cancels for Mysterion that would prevent him from being able to respawn again. So in a meta where maybe he's not really that great, he is still going to be able to get a good amount of value in the right situations, because that's how he should be played. He should be played in the right situations, and not only because he can just keep coming back constantly, right? It's you have to commit to that 5 energy that you play with him, and then you can see what works. But 25% should do really good. And then here we go with Callgirl. Now here's the thing with Callgirl, all right? Now this doesn't really make her good, but what it is that Callgirl is being set up. I say this all the time. Callgirl is being set up so that when the superhero deck gets rounded out and gets a couple more OP cards in there that are high cost. You know, maybe a man bear pig of their own, you know, inside of superheroes, like whatever you want to say. Cthulhu, Spontaneous Butte, I mean, whatever floats your boat. You know, Mega Barbara Streisand, you know, just making up some stuff right here, right? So once there's a really big unit out there, she's gonna be really good in general. So they're just playing it safe so that the cards aren't just immediately overpowered and then have to be nerfed or whatnot. So just taking baby steps with these cards, because they are the type, both of them, Mysterion and Callgirl, are the kind of cards that are easily overbalanced in both directions. They can easily instantly be just come too good, and so you have to find the right way to tweak each card, right? So enough about that, right? I believe we've got a little bit more here. The update 4.3 on Tuesday, November 5th, we'll start out rolling out our latest update to South Park Phone Destroyer. This update will have some new features, technical improvements, and some bug fixes as well. They'll list them down below. The Team Wars practice. One of the biggest community requests over the last few months has been Team Wars practice mode. They are happy to say that they've been working on this and they are implementing this with the update. And then you'll be able to choose a new option when selecting a friendly fight against a teammate and practice your Team War deck. So, this is pretty interesting. I do like the idea of it basically being an imaginary 5th slot of a deck, right? Because it's not in your 4 slots that you can create different customized decks. It's a whole nother thing where it's automatically made from your Team Wars, wherever they hold the data at. The whole team holds that data of the Team Wars deck, right? So this is pretty cool. It does make it definitely a good way to practice to a certain extent. And the only reason why I say that is because you can't change Well, hopefully, what we can see is hopefully that, like, as it becomes Friday of the entire week, hopefully, when you go to play Team Wars practice mode, it will include all of the upgrades, right? Not just friendly fight levels, but be exactly the friendly fight. I mean, the Team Wars deck with the rank, with the levels. So, like, if you practiced on Wednesday, you're just playing with every card at base friendly fight level or whatever, right? Yeah, friendly fight level. And then on Friday, you can play the same deck, but with it boosted up to however many times you've upgraded it. Hopefully, that is what it is, because then that will be really good for everybody, right? So that's pretty cool. And then here's what we were talking about earlier. It's the new custom item. More customization. On Saturday, as mentioned above, all players will be getting a new customization item. So every la-di-da-di, everybody is going to get a new customization item. All players will get one version, and a special thank you to our longtime players, anyone who has played the game before February 2018. So I'm not sure why they picked this one. I guess the game came out in November, so November, December, January, February, right? So you had to be within the first 4 months of the game coming out. You get a special version of this. So, like, one of them is going to be the silver thank you, and then the other one's going to be a gold thank you, or, you know, something of that nature. Maybe because I'm sure they'll be similar. I mean, it could be a totally different item, but don't know, right? We'll see how creative they get with this kind of thing. And then, like I was saying, it could be gloves, so that way there's a whole brand new amount of outfits in the game that you can get in the PvP shop, or that they can release in the battle pass, you know, all that kind of things. Hopefully, I mean, just theorizing, right? I mean, could be. I mean, it is in Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, so it makes sense. Then the news. We've completely revamped the in-game news, and we're going to add even more to this in the future. But the first version will include some major changes. Let us know what you think. So what I'm hoping this is that when you go into the news section, it'll be maybe more bulletinized so that you can see all the different events, you know, rather than the events be expanded, you know what I mean? So, like, you can, they're all closed titles, they're just the titles, right? And then you click it, and then it expands it into that section, so it makes it easier, so you can, in case you missed a couple news, you can look through it quicker. And then the other thing is that there needs to be some sort of video interface so that the people that are with Red Links, which I'm not, they can get their videos directly in the game in case there's some sort of tutorials or information or whatever that they want to sponsor. I mean, it could be their own sponsored ads for brand new cards in however way that they want to do it, right? So, there's a lot of room for improvement in a news section, right? You know, I don't know, this doesn't mean anything. There. Alright, so, the new custom item where we got that news, blah, blah, blah. Here it is, guys, the bug fixes. These are some bug fixes that everybody's been talking about, and some of them that I've never even heard of. So, it's fixed an issue that caused Pope Timmy to revive units at base level, regardless of the card's upgrades. So this was something that we were considering. It's a stealth nerf, or that it's just a bug that has become a feature in the game, which is still a stealth nerf, but just a different way of saying it, right? But they have actually fixed it, so Pope Timmy will revive correctly at the max level that they're supposed to be. So that's really good for Pope Timmy's value, 100%. Then fixed an issue where Tupperware would take damage from Satan's Warcry, which I did not know this. I guess I haven't really run Satan a lot, and I haven't really run Tupperware a lot, but that's definitely something that makes sense to be fixed. He shouldn't be affected by cards' abilities. Fixed an issue where Imp Twig's power could cause strange effects when combined with Dr. Timothy's power. I have no idea what that is. I've actually never seen anything about that, because I don't use Imp Twig very often, and I don't use Dr. Timothy hardly at all. So that was just something that I probably would never have seen. But that's a good thing to fix for sure, because Imtwig has a lot of weird bugs about him, and Dr. Timothy's ability does seem like it would cause some issues. Then there's fixed an issue with Swashbuckler Red's visual aura effects. Doesn't affect the card's stats. So maybe it was too big and the ability was smaller, or the ability was bigger and the circle was smaller, so they adjusted it to look correctly. Or maybe, no, yeah, or just maybe made it to where the aura looks cooler. Not quite sure. Fixed an issue that caused Mysterio to respawn at level 1 in PvE. That's really weird. I've actually never even... I didn't even know that Mysterio was bugged in PvE only. Fixed an issue where the Coon's power would not re-trigger after being mind-controlled. So again, this is another thing where it's a superhero, so I'm not really played with him very much, and I don't play mind control very much, so I didn't know that Coon, like, okay, they have like 4 superheroes out, and then they put Coon out on the field, and he's got that buff from all the superheroes, right? And then apparently if you mind controlled him, he would lose his ability, which makes sense because you don't have any superheroes. And then when he would get unmind controlled, he just would never get the buff back, which that would suck. I did not know that was a problem. That's a good fix. That's a good fix for sure. And it says fix an issue with the visual effects of the battery during battle. I have no idea. They're talking about the life of the visual effects of the life during the battle. The candy bars, because I don't know. I don't play with phones. I play with candy bars, right? So I'm not sure about that one, but I guess we'll see maybe. Fixed an issue where the event button would not appear for some players under certain conditions. That is extremely important to fix because people need to be able to play the game. People need to be able to see the event. So it's fixed an issue with PvE stages 45, 50, and 55 that would cause the game to freeze. I have no idea about this either. Although I have completely beat the PvE stages, the only time that I've seen the game freeze was with too many Gizmo Ikes on the screen at one time, which I think they nerfed him to where he can only have so many on the field at once, but I'm not sure about that. And then fix several missing tags from cards. I don't know, I guess like some cards, like maybe the kindergartners didn't have a tag for them to be kids in order for Mesquite to target them and slow them down because they're considered kids, right? Maybe that's the kind of tags they're talking about, but that's so vague that I have no idea what that means for sure. But yes, a little bit long of a developer update video, but we had quite a lot to talk about there for sure. The buffs look like they are, I mean, the nerfs look like they are good. I mean, I honestly said that I didn't think that DOUGIE needed to be nerfed, but the Power Fist DOUGIE nerf does 100% make sense to me on the range. But is it gonna completely kill DOUGIE? No. He's still gonna be a really good card because he's so fast at getting the job done. And the reality is, he might not be able to take a whole bar like you want him to, and that's not fair, right? So it makes sense that he can finish a game, right? You've got like 100, 200 health, whatever it is. You know, and it's still just enough for a DOUGIE to be able to take that one bar. And that's all that matters. He needs to be able to just do that kind of thing. He doesn't need to be where he can take a whole bar so quickly that there's nothing you can do about it, right? So he still has his ability to be a clutch card, especially Power Fist DOUGIE, but just not as powerful. So I feel like it's good, and Mysterio and Kagura is good, and the bug fixes are always good. Hopefully we'll get another brand new awesome card, but how many brand new awesome cards can they make? Infinity and beyond. It's totally up to their imagination and the balancing of releasing not so good cards and then good cards and not so good cards and then good cards. And we just want every card to be good cards, right? Create all cards equal to a certain extent, to their value of their energy cost compared to other cards across that energy value, right? So a 2-cost card should be equal value to all 2-cost cards. Liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to bring a towel. Peace out.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the Tau Nation and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.